We get asked quite often, how do you have the time to do all this? It is 8:48. So this morning we're going to take you along on the morning chores. Normally, on a weekday, we're doing this about 6:30 in the morning, but today's a holiday.
Good morning, kitty kitties. Good morning, Louise. Good morning, babies. This is our mousers, Thelma and Louise. They're sweethearts. Hi, babies. Next, it's time to feed the rabbits. We give them some non-GMO rabbit food, but then I also go out and look for some greens, either leftover greens that we have that are going bad in the fridge or stuff from our yard. Now it's time to feed the chickens. Sasha's already in her pool. Good morning, chicky chicks. Some little brewer's yeast for Jasper since he needs niacin. There you go, babies. Gotta clean out their water because they make a mess. We want them to have good fresh water to drink. There we go.
Sometimes it's just simple feeding, and sometimes it's also maintenance. So I'm having to fix the feeder because it came untied.
Y'all didn't eat all of your food last night.
Now we have to go feed the ducks. Good morning, babies. And then walk around catching the wobbling.
The mad rush to the swimming pool. You getting your morning swim, babies?
We have to get these before Jenny comes back.
Getting some drinks, baby? Y'all finished your swim, girls? Jenny, your eggs are gone. Your eggs are gone. Eat your nummies. Hey, stop. Eat your nummies, baby.
We gotta change their water daily because this is just from last night.
Back to the swimming hole.
One thing about a farm, you walk through about 15 spider nests a day.
Good morning, goats. Hi, Chica. Hi, Daisy. Good morning. Good morning, Odin. Good morning, Noel. Oh, they got good nummies, Daddy. Time for musical feeders. Eat your nummies, baby. Say good nummies, Daisy. We're filling up a little more water here to mix with the pig's feed. And then we'll give the goats fresh water later.
Special delivery.
Good morning, Lizzie. Good morning, Mary. Y'all ready for your nummies?
I'm mixing water with their feed, so it's a little not so quite dry on them.
Easier to digest.
We use a galvanized small trash can to keep the feed in. That keeps the rodents, mice, and squirrels and raccoons from getting into it. It also keeps the water out of it. The beautiful thing about having leftovers, especially when you go out to eat on your cheat days, is you can bring what's left over home to the pigs.
Lots of good nummies. Happy pigs. Say good nummies, babies.
One more thing to do, feed the fish. Stay tuned. In a future video, I'm going to talk about the 5 most essential knots you need to know on a farm. Knots will save you. Ironically, one of the most important things on a farm is, you ready for this? Bale string that you get from your bales of hay. We use it everywhere, and it's free.
Goats are already foraging. Getting the freshly dropped leaves from the night.
Since we use some of the water for the pig's feed, I use the goat water so it kind of gets recycled overnight. It's not dirty, it's been sitting overnight. I got to refill their water back up for them.
They're nummies.
Come on, goats. Come on, babies. Come on. last thing to do. This wasn't the last. Now Barbie does her garden walk, and it's only 8:18. So that's just about 30 minutes. But we filmed and took our time, and normally Barbie does half the chores and I do the other half of the chores. So in the morning, you're talking 15 minutes or so.
First of all, if you see this area behind us that looks overgrown, it's overgrown for a reason. We let the areas rest in between putting our goats in, so they're currently in that section clearing it out, and then they'll move to this section and get to eat all of this nice forage. Now it's time for a quick garden walk just to see if there's any pests or problems in the garden that we need to take care of. Look, baby, we have 2 squash on our vines. Looking good so far. Any beans ready? Or peas?
Well, we got some, but they're not ready.
Got a few cucumbers on the vine. So the bush beans behind me aren't doing very well. I'm gonna go ahead and pick them, and we'll keep picking them, but it may be time to retire those soon. I think they're not liking the hot weather because we've been getting close to 90 degrees. The more you pick beans, the more you'll get. Luckily, I have a hair appointment this weekend. COVID has me roots showing and my hair is out of control. And it happens to be raining, but rain doesn't stop us on the ranch. Well, got beans on this one. And see how they're trailing up the trellis? Exactly what we wanted this for. Let's take some of these. I'm taking the yellow leaves off because they're taking energy away from the plants that the plants need to grow and fruit. So if you do it, a couple of handfuls every time you're out here, spend 5 minutes, it doesn't get out of control. Cucumbers are on the vine. I think we have one that's ready. I think it's time for a quick break in the rain in my happy spot. So pretty. Look, baby, our first red Marconi peppers. And lots of buds are coming on the vine too. Now for a quick check on our muscadine. They're getting bigger. Hey, these things are starting to air root, baby. We got a few pepperoncini. Fresno chili peppers coming in strong. And we've got our first jalapenos. It's raining a little bit harder now and my hair's an absolute mess, but we got one more stop, check on the tomatoes and make sure we didn't get any hornworms overnight. Looks like they're doing good. Now time to get in from the rain.
On a rainy day like this, there's not a whole bunch you can do project-wise, so we're gonna spend the day probably inside working on videos and social media and stuff like that. So we hope you have a happy and joyous Memorial Day. Remember though, this is a day to mourn those people in the armed services who gave up their lives. So remember that as you're having your cookouts. Until then, live your own story.